reusable metal coffee cups for them to keep in the car. At least he hadn't gone so far as to make Mike wash and reuse the piss bottle on the days they were on surveillance but weren't parked close enough to a McDonald's or a Starbucks to hit a bathroom. They didn't actually run surveillance that much anymore. Days like this, though, when they did, were something Mike sort of missed. It was supposed to be part of the gig. There was a certain romance to the sitting and waiting. And waiting. And waiting. But his back was killing him today. They'd been in the car for 9 hours already, and he'd spent the day before at the YMCA with Annie, swimming and throwing her in the air and chasing after her. At 9, Annie was getting to be a load, but what was he going to do? Not roughhouse in the pool? He arched his back and stretched a little, trying to get comfortable. LaShawn held up a bottle of Advil, but Mike shook his head. His stomach had been bothering him, too. Coffee and donuts and greasy burgers and fries and all the crap that made it harder and harder every day for him to stay in shape and run the miles and do the pull-ups he needed to do to keep passing his physical. And popping a couple of pills to help his back seemed like a bad idea. Fuck, Mike thought. He was only 43. Too young to be getting old already. How late, Mike? Fanny came on the line, already swinging for the fences. Mike closed his eyes and tried to take a cleansing breath. That's what his therapist had called it, a cleansing breath. When he opened his eyes, LaShawn was staring at him. LaShawn raised an eyebrow and mouthed, "Apologize." "I'm sorry, Fanny. I'm really sorry. We're on surveillance and relief is running late. It will just be half an hour, 45 minutes at most." "You're supposed to be taking her to soccer, Mike. Now I have to do it." Mike took another cleansing breath. "I don't know what else to say, Fanny. I'm really sorry. I'll meet you at the field." He wanted to be there. There was something about the smell of the cut grass and watching his little girl run around chasing a ball. The crappy wooden bleachers reminded him of what it was like to be a kid, of looking over to the sideline at baseball or football games and seeing his own dad sitting there, watching solemnly. Seeing Annie goofing around with the other kids or scowling and concentrating while trying to learn a step over or some other new skill was one of the best parts of his week. He never thought about his job or his ex-wife or anything, really. It was a different world out there on the soccer field. The sounds of the kids yelling and the coaches' whistles all functioned like a reset button. Most of the other parents chatted with one another, read books, tried to get work done, talked on their cell phones, but Mike just watched. That's it. He watched Annie run and kick and laugh, and for that hour of soccer practice, there was nowhere else in the world for him. "Of course I can take her, but that's not the point. The point is that you're still doing it. I mean, I can leave you, I can get a divorce, but she's stuck with you, Mike. As much as she loves Rich, you're her father." Mike glanced over at LaShawn, but his partner was ostentatiously not listening. LaShawn was doing what he was supposed to be doing, which was staring at the alley. There wasn't much chance that the prick they were waiting for, Tutu O'Leary, was going to show up, but given that he used as much of the meth as he sold, and had wounded an agent in a bust gone bad the week before, it probably wasn't the worst thing in the world to have one of them paying attention. "All I can do is keep apologizing." He glanced at LaShawn again and decided he didn't care if LaShawn was listening or not. It wasn't like they hadn't talked about his relationship with Fanny or LaShawn and LaShawn's ex-wife's relationship more than he had ever talked about it with his therapist or, for that matter, with Fanny. Maybe if he'd talked about things with Fanny as much as he had with LaShawn, things would still be okay. "You know I'm sorry about everything. I'm sorry about everything, not just being late." Mike waited for Fanny to say something, but there was only silence. He went on. "I've been talking with my therapist about it, and I know that I'm late saying this. I mean, I guess I'm late with everything, but I'm trying to say I should have told you I was sorry a long time ago. I didn't mean to let things fall apart. And even though I'm not really happy about it, I am happy that you're happy, and, Dawson, Rich, seems like he makes you happy, and I know that Annie loves him. So, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best to be a different kind of guy, a better man. But there's always going to be a part of me that's just the way I am, and that goes for the job, too." "Mike," Fanny's voice.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.